So how do I decide if I want to talk about a microphone? Well, I got to try it out. And I usually try it out on an audio interface, and then I try it out on a mixer. In this video, I'm showing you how I compare, well, a bunch of microphones, in this case 10 microphones. We'll talk quickly about each one of them. And what I'm trying to really size up is how good are the actual Sterling's microphones, the new ones. The P30, which is a brand spanking new one. Then we've got the P20 and the P10. But to do that, I have to compare them against other ones that I like as well. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 microphones that I like. So to do that, I need to use a mixing board. I know a lot of people use audio interfaces, and I do have one of those connected right here, because though you can use this particular mixer, which is the Alto Live 1604, as an audio interface as well, I like the actual quality of an independent audio interface hooked up onto the side, so I can adjust that, get it just right. That's what you're seeing behind you here. And having that actually send out the signal to the computer so we can record a really good signal. This audio interface goes up to 192 kilohertz, which is what we have it set up right there, and it also runs at 24 bits. So that's an awesome baseline for a recording. And the other big reason why I like putting all the mics, in this case 10 of them, including one on Xvive, right away, is so this way I can actually just hit a button, go through them, hear it real time, see what the actual gain differences are on the mixer to get the sound that I'm looking for. So right now, I've been talking to you all this time on the actual Sterling P30, which is an amazing microphone because it's the first one out of all the mics that I have that is an active dynamic microphone. So the important thing to know about the word active is the same thing you would think of in speakers. An active microphone has an actual amplifier in it. It's powered. It runs off of the phantom power off the mixing board or your audio interface. If you're using an actual DJ controller, you might have to get yourself an external phantom power source to put at the controller, or you can use the Xvive U3C. The C is important because that is the one that has phantom power set at either 12 or 48 volts, and it does work on this microphone. I did try it out. So, and what we're going to do now is try out our first microphone, which is the actual P20. I have it listed here. If you're running a lot of mics or a lot of anything on a mixing board, you need some way to cheat. In my case, I've got my little sheet here, which tells me the first mic is going to be the P20. So we've taken that off, and we're now going to mute the P30 and take a look-see. Now, this is important because I do want, just like you can see over my shoulder, I do want to see where I've got this. I've got it at 50% gain, and just to let you know where the gain settings is on this mixer here, if I'm at 0, well, there's no gain added, and if I'm at 10, I've added 50 dB to the actual unit. In this case, I'm only running it halfway, so I'm running it at about 25 dB. And I'm holding it about an inch away from my mouth. Now, important to note, I have listened to this on the headphone, and it does do a really good job. I can really talk offset to it. And, normally a dynamic microphone, you don't want to vary too far, and you do want to speak directly into it. I'm more worried about how low I have it versus how far to the left or right. That would be kind of odd for me, I guess. So, but that is what we're looking at here. And again, a nice smooth sounding microphone. You get a lot of energy out of this microphone, which is really nice and important. So if you're looking for a nice smooth microphone, a good choice to an SM58 or a PGA58 would definitely be the P20. So there you go. So the P20 is now muted. We're back to the P30. And well, we're going to talk a little bit about the P30 here before we move on, because that's the next mic on the list. So the P30 is set at the same unity as I had the P20 at, except 12 inches away to 16 inches away, depending on how I move around. That is because it has a 12 dB lifter built inside of it, that amplifier. And that amp is going to give you the freedom to either adjust my gain levels to the best sweet spot I can on my mixing board or on my audio interface, but more importantly, give me the freedom of the actual microphone. So I can either have the gains down really low, bring the mic in really close, or I can do like I'm doing here and have this microphone set up. So it's got a lot of variety to it. It's got the same overall capsule, everything else set up the same as the P20, but with all the advantages. And again, if you're looking for something for podcasting or something where you want to have some distance between you and the microphone, you need studio mic. This is a really good way to go. I mean, it gives you so much opportunity, and you're going to see all these other brands eventually get into this, because this is definitely the future of a microphone. All mixing boards, when it comes to the gain, and the same thing on audio interfaces, they have a sweet spot where they're doing their best. It's not when it's really, really low, and it's not when it's really, really high. It's somewhere in the middle. And If you have a microphone that you need to pump a lot of energy into, or you want to set the mic further away, you're going to have to offset that with more gain. And to have a microphone that brings that gain in really good and clear at the beginning means you have to use a lot less of it on the actual mixing board. So again, the P30 is a very nice microphone if you're looking for a brand new way to get sound. So here we are. This is the Shure PGA58, which is very hard to find on their website, which is always ironic because it is a very popular microphone for them. It's also the only microphone, if you're in North America, that will be made in China. And that's not a bad thing, but that's just to show you how they try and keep everything else, final assembly, out of China when it comes to their microphones, except for the PGA48 and the PGA series overall. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a very good microphone. And if you're looking for a personal microphone to use and you really want to buy into a Shure microphone, buying the PGA58 as a vocal microphone is a really good idea. It has a lot of the benefits that you get off the SM58. The only thing that it might actually cut out a little bit is the ruggedness that you get out of the 58. So outside of that, everything else works out really well. Again, I enjoy it. A lot of people ask me for recommendations on microphones. If you're going to buy your microphone off Amazon, buying the PGA58 or the PGA48 is definitely a no-brainer when it comes to buying a microphone off of Amazon, especially if you're looking either for singing, this is a great microphone, and if it's the spoken word, you can certainly save yourself a couple of bucks and buy the PGA48. So let's see what's next on the list. We've got number 4, which is the AT2040 from Audio-Technica. That's this guy here. So Audio-Technica calls this their hyper cardioid dynamic microphone. And, you know, for all means, it definitely is. I like it. It's a very nice microphone. It's the microphone that I would use instead of using an SM7B. I say this, but, you know, I doubt I'm going to actually buy an SM7B because besides buying that mic, you also have to buy the cloud lifter to really make it work well. So if I need that much energy in a dynamic microphone, I'll just use the actual Sterling P30. Is it exactly the same? Of course not. Everything's special in its own way. But if I need just the energy out of a microphone, I'm going to use this because, well, it's going to do the job really well. Outside of that, I really, really enjoy the look and having this in front of me, and the overall sound quality is awesome. I mean, you can hear it. It just does a great job. And because it's dynamic, I'm not going to have a lot of background noise. And by the way, anybody can use this. You can put this onto an instrument. You can talk or sing into it. It's a very versatile microphone because it is a dynamic microphone. You just have to get used to what you just got yourself if you decide to get yourself an AT2040. But again, I like this, especially if you're doing podcasts or videos. It's a nice microphone to have in front of you. It sounds great, and it actually looks really good and professional. And yes, those things do count. Overall, the setting, though, is higher on this unit here for me to be able to use it with some distance like I have here. I do have it set at basically 70% on the gain. So out of 50 dB, I'm running it at about 35 for sure. So next on the list, number 5, is Shure's SM58. Now, these aren't in any particular order of my favorite microphone, by the way. So now, again, I'll look at the board just to see what my actual distance is. And looking at this, we are set at 60%. So when it comes to actual settings, it is set a little bit higher, like 10% higher than some of the other microphones. But that gives me the impression that I can put more energy in this microphone and have the gain down lower without actually distorting the capsule in the unit. Outside of that, I mean, it's an SM58. It's probably 50 years old by now, and it's never really gotten a massive redesign. It's gotten tweaked and made better and, you know, more reliable. And the overall design and principle, outside of using better materials to manufacture the microphone, of course, they've kept the same sound and acoustics in the microphone. They've grown their lineup. Like, you know, you go to Shure's website and they've got like 100 different microphones to choose from. But this one definitely is still, if you're out there renting microphones, you want an indestructible product. If you're buying it for yourself, I wouldn't be having this set up in somewhere where you could forget it, because people steal microphones like crazy. And this is probably the #1 stolen microphone. Everybody loses their SM58 at some point in time. Outside of that, again, live performance, this is great. You know, we have it here because it's a very professional. If I want to look professional and, you know, you just want to stand out, well, you want to have a microphone that's an SM58. Outside of that, there's not much bad things you can say about it, except that it does cost more than most of the microphones on this table today. And talking about reasonably priced microphones, let's talk about our next one, which is going to be number 6, and that is from Blastking. Again, I really like the look of this microphone. It gives me a great sound. It's a condenser microphone. I set it up as a table mic like we have here, so let's take a listen to that one. So, and here we are. This microphone gets to stay on a table. It doesn't have to move around. It can stay back. I can lean back. It's a condenser microphone, and the cardioid pattern is set up to catch basically 30 degrees to the left and 30 degrees to the right. Of course, you're going to pick up from the back of it a bit, and that's the whole point of, you know, having condenser microphones, to get a full enveloped sound. Downfall is condenser microphones do pick up more background noise, but at the same time it does get a richer sound from my voice. I absolutely love the look of this microphone. It is really nice on the table, and it might sound odd, but I can tweak the voice on everything as long as I get a good quality audio recording, and I can do that with this microphone. So that's a big plus on the mic. And the other big plus, extremely reasonably priced. Reliable and dependable. This is really good. And again, this is called the PODC300 from Blastking. Now, this microphone is available through Blastking's website. We do put links for all of these mics down below, but that's just to tell you, you have to get it from them. If you want a very nice looking condenser microphone on your table for an extremely reasonable price, the PODC300 does that job. Now, you can certainly use this on a mic stand. If you have an acoustic guitar or an instrument you want to play into, you can do that. You've got a lot of variety with a microphone like this, and that's okay. I mean, that's what it's all about. Of course, I look at it with, you know, a bit of a tunnel vision to it, to what I'm doing here. So our next microphone is from Marantz. It's the MPM3500R. It's their ribbon microphone, so we're going to turn it on right now. So we're going to bring that one up, and now we're going to mute the actual Blastking. And what do I like about the ribbon microphone is really the smoothness of the sound. A ribbon microphone, the advantages to a ribbon microphone is it really emphasizes the low end. So when they got away from using ribbon microphones a long time ago, it was because it was really, really punchy. And condenser microphones gave you a smoother mid-range sound to it with better clarities in the highs. But today, we're different. Ribbon microphones give us that bottom end that we're looking for. So we really, really want that lower end frequency. We want clarity in the bottom end. And that microphone absolutely does it. I personally like it because we do a lot of videos where we need to record speakers and try and translate the sound that we have in the space here to the actual computer. So when you're watching it on YouTube, you kind of get an experience of what it sounds like. And I couldn't always achieve that with other microphones. But the actual ribbon microphone really brought that sound to life, and because of that, I really like using it. They, of course, always look nice. Look at the setup of this microphone; it's awesome. And you know, again, these are important things. Microphone has to sound as good as, to me, it has to look good because I take it out of the box. It's like, ooh, look at that! It's a nice looking microphone, and then it has to sound really good to match up with the look. And of course, the basket is awesome. They've gone over the top with the shock mount on it. And the overall presentation and the way it works engineer-wise is incredible. So, yes, I know there's a lot of science and everything that goes into it and the, why they do things a certain way. But definitely that microphone is awesome. So that's the MPM3500R from Marantz. So this is the SM57. Again, I'm always going to check to see how my recording levels are to get me going on a new mic. Important to note, this is roughly at about 70% on the gain level, so that would be roughly 35 dB on the gain. And this is their instrument mic from Shure. Again, the SM57. And it also can be used for talk, because you do see a lot of people talking into it. They're not using a bad mic for talking into, and it's not like, oh, it's a fake thing. They're just using an SM57. They're talking into it. No, some people actually do like doing the spoken word into an SM57, and it is a very diverse microphone. You can use it for, recording instruments or speakers off an amp, let's say, and then you can also use it for the spoken word. So it's kind of very good variety when it comes to that. The downfall is one of its advantages. The capsule is right out there all on its own. There's no big cover on the actual capsule, so you do have to protect the microphone. Hit it too many times with a drumstick, drop it too many times, whack it around, the capsule will pop off eventually, or you will damage the plastic. Outside of that, there's not a lot of bad things you can say about the microphone. As price point goes, Shure has done a really good job at making sure they've kept that price up there, and it's a premium product, but not out of reach for most people. So if you are looking for a high quality instrument microphone that's very diverse, SM57's not a bad way to go, and that's why it's here. Our last corded mic that we have, the next one's going to be on the actual Xvive. This is the instrument mic from Sterling. It's the P10, and the P10 is really good at doing instrument recordings. That's its purpose in life. That's how it was designed. And though you can use it for talk like I am right now, it would do a much better job if I had this onto an amp or placed onto a speaker monitor, or maybe I'm using this on an instrument. That's really, it's where it wants to be. The important thing is, though, compared to the SM57, it's more of a Coke and Pepsi choice. You're going to like one more than the other, or you're not going to find that much difference that you're like, oh, I need to go find another microphone. Absolutely not. The P10 is incredible at doing its job, but most importantly, you can buy two of these for the price of one SM57. So for a lot of people, that's going to be the big deciding factor on buying instrument microphones, is the quality against the price, because that's kind of important. I think that's, a driving force for a lot of people. Yes, it's like, if you can afford anything, you'll buy whatever you want. But a lot of times you're going, I need two of them. Is this better for me? And if you need two of them, well, then this might be the right way to go. So again, this is available through Guitar Center. The links are all down below. But this is a very exciting microphone, especially seeing that it's from Sterling. So here we are. This is our 10th microphone of our line. And again, this was not in any particular order. It's not I like one better than the other. But I did also use the Xvive on this one here. Very similar to the PGA58. So I figured that microphone would wrap up for everything for both of these. Spoken word is what they're categorizing the 48. And for vocals, for singing, they're saying go with the PGA58. Outside of that, the Xvive is really what it's all about here. The freedom and independence of having an actual wireless system to your unit. Normally, I'd be at least 3 feet or 6 feet away would probably be best, but it seems to be working just fine, and it's only like 2 feet away. Outside of that, the gain levels on an actual Xvive is pretty close to what you're going to see on the actual XLR cable. So I really don't have any gain differences. It's not like it's a lot less or it's a lot more. It's probably about the same level I would have had it if I had a cable connected to it as well. And that's roughly about 35 dB. Outside of that, there's not much more to say. Convenience, ease of use. Xvive certainly makes it very convenient to add an actual wireless to any of your favorite microphones. If you have a condenser and you need to make that wireless, the U3C. And for all the other microphones, you can just get the U3. Multi-channel, so this way I could have had a bunch of Xvives here if I wanted to, 6 of them on 6 different channels, or I could have grouped a bunch of microphones up onto one actual receiver. Whatever rocks your boat there. And here we are right back to where we started on the P30, because, well, look at this, freedom. I don't have a mic in my hands. That's kind of important. And the fact that it's active. It's the only active microphone on this table. This video is all about my personal opinion, why I have certain microphones and why I don't have other microphones. I mean, this is really to help you get a feel for what all the different types of microphones are. From active, dynamic microphones, which is really exciting. And if we look down the road, this is going to be a very standard type product that you're going to see from all the manufacturers. And it's going to become a very popular product for a lot of people out there doing videos, podcasts, or for having more control over their actual gains on their mixing board. If you need to run long cables, an active microphone is very important at that point. Outside of that, we've had everything from ribbon mics, condenser mics, to hybrid dynamic microphones like the AT2040, and we've had all kinds of different types of dynamic microphones for instrument and for talk. But again, this is just a personal opinion. That's what this is all about, giving you a variety and telling you what I think of the microphones. Just my opinion. So remember, at any point, if you like this kind of video, please hit that thumbs up. Leave some comments, microphones that you have that you like. And also don't forget to subscribe. Again, this was only my opinion, and we did use it on a mixing board through an audio interface, and I'm not going to do any post-production when it comes to sound, so this way you get to hear it exactly as is. But remember, normally you would take all of this, run it through a bunch of filters, do a whole bunch of stuff to it, come out with a work of art, and then your job is done. So remember, this is just my opinion. I just wanted to try out these microphones so this way I can get a feel for the new mics that we have now, which are the Sterling P30, P20, and P10s. All the details will be down below, and all the links for all the different sites that you can get these microphones will also be down below. That's what supports this channel. Thank you very much. Maybe we'll see you in the next video. Like I say, thanks for watching. Bye for now. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's always important.